dropped 6 to 7 figures on your technology project and you're seeing little to no ROI. It's a common problem, and I'm going to tell you why. These are the 3 reasons I see most commonly that companies are not achieving the ROI or return they were hoping to on any sort of technology investment. First and foremost, they didn't actually understand how much it cost. You might have budgeted for things like software licenses, some implementation partners, maybe even some training if you're way ahead of the curve, but you forgot the core piece of it, which is very sneaky vendor contracts that are going to charge you more fees for your data. Things like change management campaigns, process redesign, backfilling, because an ERP or any sort of technology implementation is a full-time job, so somebody else is going to have to do the core team's day job, and you don't take into account how much that costs. So suddenly you budgeted $500,000 and you're spending over 1.2 on this software, and you're like, what the heck happened? That's why total cost of ownership, scenarioing out those things, having help figuring that out is so critical. If you can't afford the real cost, you can't afford the tool. Number 2 is you bought siloed technology. Never ceases to amaze me the amount of times I walk into a steering committee or core team meeting and I say, well, where are the representatives from the end users? And they say, oh, well, we really haven't told them about it yet because we don't want to cause any sort of disruption. Okay, I couldn't be more clear when respectfully, the right people are not in this room. We cannot choose and select a new software, even if we're quote unquote upgrading, which should still be treated as its own implementation, even if you're staying with the incumbent vendor. If we don't know what the end user's requirements are or what their thoughts are on the new system, we might as well go walk up to the roof and throw our money off of it. If you bought an ERP system and had no one from finance or accounting or ops or manufacturing or sales and marketing in the room, then you completely wasted your time and money. Not to mention, the biggest problem with that scenario is now we all have our own agendas and we're not all aligned on what ROI would actually mean to us. From sales, it means one thing, from ops, it means another. So there's no actual core alignment around the project because we didn't all come together in that critical implementation planning phase. This is where the project stalls and the finger pointing starts. And number 3 is no actual project plan. Vendors told you, even your incumbent vendors, and this is where I see people get in the most trouble, that this is just an upgrade or it's a plug and play implementation. It's neither of those things. Those are complete lies and a complete disservice to the client community because they don't have the opportunity to get an adequate plan in place. Remember what we're talking about here. We have a software vendor and we have a system integrator. Their jobs are to A, sell you software, right? That's how they get paid. That's what their quotas are. And B, to implement the software. Do either of those contractually care if your ROI is reached? No. You skipped about 1,000 things in readiness, in adoption planning, in testing, because the vendor is trying to rush you through their low-code, no-code implementation. And that is not at all a disciplined and mature way to handle implementing new software. And that's going to get you in trouble because you're not going to realize the actual value that you invested in the system. You have this narrative going around by software vendors so they can get more people to buy their system that implementations are easy. And they're not. They require resilience, grit, determination, and strong leadership. Software does not fix broken processes. It does not realize ROI once you sign the contract. You're in charge of that as project leadership to understand what your ROI is and how you're going to achieve it.